Someone said worst episode yet. Probably.
So Lolcow Live is a podcast consisting of 3 grown men that no one likes, basically just screaming at each other.
Look, that was inspirational. They had your back.
I don't care. I just want to get through it. I don't care.
You got
Let me
this.
get through it.
You got this, bro. Let's
Shut up.
And it's honestly one of the most depressing podcasts I think I've ever seen. I'd actually rather watch Impulsive, and that is just torture to watch.
Can I ask a question?
Hit me.
How exactly do you like your cheese?
Oh, that's right. Drippy, bro.
How long can we keep doing it?
Whoa,
Now, I wanted to talk about the Lolcow Live podcast for a very long time, quite a while ago, and I kind of decided against it because it was just a boring subject for me. But it was only until a couple of days ago where I just about caught the end of a podcast where Keemstar was sat there for some reason wearing a leather jacket, and it was the most depressing thing I'd ever watched in my life. And to me, watching this podcast recently, just a little bit, it kind of looks like Keemstar's about done with this podcast. He does not enjoy it from the looks of it, and I don't blame him either.
It's hard for me to believe that a bank won't loan you $5,000 if you put your house up as collateral. That's such a small risk for them.
All right. I'm done. The show's over with.
But this rehashed questions for me about the podcast and kind of the whole point of the video I was planning on doing before, and it kind of brought up some questions to me about the state of this podcast and just how slowly it's going to take for it to burn completely into ash. Now, I think that the reason that this podcast is inevitably going to fail can actually be summed up based on the identity of the podcast. Like, the people that are in the podcast are easily described as deplorable, and not a lot of people on the internet really like them. Now, even if these 3 were actually respectable people, they would still have to stay relevant for the podcast to keep thriving. But because they're not, and they're actually quite deplorable, they have to rely on staying relevant through negativity, which for the most part doesn't really last because people just lose interest in drama. Case in point with the whole Boogie situation, they had 10 minutes of fame with this whole faking cancer thing, and they absolutely milked it beyond belief, really. Like, it even got to the point where Boogie tattooed his face, and people still don't really care anymore. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is the whole Boogie faking cancer thing and my opinion on how Keemstar handled it. Now, I do understand that this is a very dead subject. It was quite a while ago now as of recording this audio, so I'm not going to be going over any of Boogie's part in it. I'm not really too bothered about him faking cancer anymore. A lot has been said on that, including from myself, so not really too bothered about that. But what did bother me when I was thinking about making this video quite a while ago is just how Keemstar handled this.
Any donation, 20 or more, that happened tonight, read it for the chat. This is part of the goddamn punishment.
Trying. Give me a minute. I'm in the middle of a severe panic attack, okay?
You get to the donos yet?
I'm trying. I'm in the middle of a very severe panic attack.
Okay, let's take a moment. Big breaths. You ready? With me.
Leah something says.
Wait.
Let me
get down it. Let me get down it.
I think your mic settings are wrong because we can't hear you. Even that screaming and yelling.
Scam Boogie, make him pay the $3K and mail the play button to Medicare.
Now, something I mentioned about Keemstar in my video on him and his past on YouTube is just his lack of care and understanding of people with mental health problems. And this is something that I saw clear as day with the whole Boogie situation. Now, I'm not saying that what Boogie did is right or redeemable in any way, and even regardless of the fact that he may be a compulsive liar with a lot of problems, it's not really something that should be brushed over for the sake of milking him for content, because as we've seen before with people like Etika and FouseyTube, milking these kinds of people for content while they're going through problems with their mental health or manic episodes does not lead to very good consequences. So I guess the whole point of this section is just that I do not agree with how Keemstar handled this whole thing. I think that it's very childish and not careful in the slightest with the track record he has of disregarding mental health problems. It's honestly it's deplorable, really. Like, there comes a point where you watch this kind of thing over and over again, and it just feels like Groundhog Day of watching an idiot on the internet. So, yeah. So I guess to sum this video up, if I had to describe what it's like watching the Lolcow Live podcast, I guess I could sum it up as every time I watch it, I feel like I'm becoming less human and more like a dirty sewer monster hunting for rats under the ground. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth as I'm watching it every time. This show is just pure toxicity, and it's highlighted by the comments. It's just a waste of time. And look, if you like this podcast, I'm not going to shame you for it. You can like what you like, but it's just such a hard watch for me, and I'm not quite sure why. It just has this tinge of toxicity as you're watching it. Like, even if nothing's going on or nothing's being said, you can just feel it in the background. It's just, I don't even know what this rant is, but I'm going to end this video now because I won't stop.